I mean, I'm gonna piss some people off by saying this, but I don't really care. Okay, Elite Esports is a good team, and Gaming Gladiators is also a good team, but they're only good teams. I obviously never predicted Gaming Gladiators to do this good in groups or Elite to do this good in groups, but I was telling everyone I knew going into Grand Finals day, like, hey guys, no offense, but nobody remembers how you play in groups. They remember how you place in the Grand Finals. And like, no offense, but I don't think either one of these teams is going to get top 5. Like, I don't think either one of these teams is going to pop off. So that was one take that I had that worked out. And then who surprised me the most in a good way? Probably Zeddy, like Dupe and Jelly and Deeds. I thought they'd do good, but I thought they'd do good like 9. Who surprised me in a bad way? Falcons. I really thought they were going to get top 2 for sure. I thought they were either going to win or get second. Any team surprise you in a good or bad way, EWC? I thought Falcons would top 2 for sure. I just think that team is so freaking good. Like, they're so well-rounded. I just feel like it's a really good team if Hal is IGLing well. But I have to rewatch and understand like what happened, because maybe like an individual underperformed, or maybe Hal was not calling well, or maybe the games were just impossible. I have no idea. So I don't want to sit here and bash on my friends, you know. But they definitely did underperform. Yeah, I mean, Aurora underperformed. I mean, there's a lot of people that underperformed, to be fair. Like, GK underperformed, dropped as a literal single-digit placement specialist. So, dropped, underperformed, or GK underperformed. You could say Soul underperformed. NIP definitely underperformed. Alliance underperformed. Liquid, you could argue they underperformed. Falcons definitely underperformed. And then it's like overperform, 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 overperform. When are you going to admit that SR is overrated? I don't think SR is overrated. I think SR was missing a player 1. And I think SR is... Bro, I mean, nobody's going to like this take, but I think SR is unlucky. I don't like to blame luck on a lot of things, but like, swapping from like Fragger or Anchor to IGL is really, 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 really hard. Like, nobody understands how hard that is. And then to get good at IGLing, you have to have a billion reps. Like, reps of making mistakes and reps of doing things that work. And that's how you get good at it. And like, in the process of Zainu trying to swapping to like IGL and get better at it over the past year, year and a half, whatever it's been, like, there's been countless moments where they have just gotten so incredibly unlucky, where like he isn't able to necessarily get better at IGLing. And then like, that would honestly be the main reason. Like, the reason that you haven't seen this SR team probably see like a top 3 or top 5 where you'd expect them is because like all of those factors, right? Didn't do SR do better with Funny? I mean, you would, but like, that's just such an unfair margin to like talk about, right? Because like, my team did mediocre day 1, acceptable day 2, and then insane day 3, right? Like, sometimes the zones are just in your favor. Like, sometimes the lobby's just in your favor. Like I could play with fucking Mandy and fucking whoever, you know, and one day get 2 points and the next day get 50. Like, sometimes it just goes your way. So it's really hard to be like, oh, they did better with a sub. It's like an unfair way of judging it. As a casual, I totally see why you'd have that opinion. And I don't necessarily blame casuals for having that opinion. It's kind of just like not understanding how it all breaks down, if that makes sense. Like, there's just so many things that people on the outside don't know that go on, and then it's just like impossible to judge them without knowing all of those variables. And the reality is like, not only do those people not know those variables, but even I don't know those variables, and I'm friends with those guys, and I get to interact with them, and I get to see them at the LAN event, and so on, right? So if I don't know all the variables, then you guys for sure don't know all the variables, so it's pretty hard to judge them. You talk about a lot of positivity and its effect on you as an IGL. You think Shopify make a change? I've already said this. I'm not opposed to Shopify making a change. I just don't know what you change. Because the issue with Shopify is you have like 3 players that at any given point in their careers, you could easily are in the best, like the absolute SSS plus tier for what they do. Like, for example, Zap at multiple points in his career has been like top 2, top 3, top 1 fraggers in NA. That's not even a debate. Right? That's just in the air. Same for Koiful. Same for Zainu, right? So the issue is if you're making a change on a roster like that, like what do you even do? Because like the issue at that point isn't really, how do I explain this? It's really hard to have a conversation about SR because the only people that will actually know the right things to make is SR. Like we can talk about like Liquid because there's roles and slots and things like that make a lot of sense. But on SR, nothing makes sense. Like Zap could play Anchor at the same level that like Zainu could probably play Anchor. And like Koiful could probably play Anchor at the same level that Zap plays Anchor. And then like vice versa, right? And like Zap and Koi and Zainu all can frag at that same level. So it's like, it's an impossible situation for us to like actually give an educated opinion on. Because it's like all the things that they're good at, they're almost equally as good as each other at it. So it's like, what the fuck do you do? Right? Like, who do you remove? That's why they never worked. Yeah, you could say that, but then who do you remove for who? Like, what makes it work, and then who's the one that you remove? Do you understand why that's unfair or really hard to argue without us knowing, like, all the variables in their camp? Right? Because it's like, again, like, how could you even say, like, Koi is a better fragger than Zap when they just have, like, different skill sets when undoubtedly Zap was the best fragger in NA at one point? And, like, vice versa. You could say the same about Zainu, and you can say the same about Koi. It's really, really, really tricky to do the SR. Frick me. Nice, dude. Nice, Lauder. It's really hard to do the SR conversation. I'm not opposed to them making a change, but it's just like, who the fuck do they get and who the fuck do they remove? And then, like I said, like that, not doable. So better teams to talk about than that because the conversation goes in circles. I don't know. I think there's a world where NIP drop a mouse and key player for Zap. I don't think this will ever happen, by the way. I don't think this will ever happen, but I think it would benefit both teams, and you can call me retarded if you disagree. It's fine. It's just my opinion. I think there's a world where you could drop an NIP player on MNK for Zap, and then I think there's a world on Sentinels where you could drop Zap for Blinkster, and then have Blinkster main IGL. Or you could do the opposite. You could drop Koi from SR, put Koi on NIP, and then have Blinkster work with Zap and Zainu on SR. I think that would be big benefit for both teams. I don't think Liquid make changes, and if they do, it's just 0 being 0, because I think that team has the right tools. I think it's just about putting in the effort to make the tools work. Yeah, Blink gonna leave after our first third. I'm not saying he is, bro. I don't think he will. I don't think he will, bro. I don't think he will. We're just shooting the shit. Big Dow, you think Zainu wants to give up IGLing? It's just not even a question that I know, and if I did know, I wouldn't tell you. GK roster change? I just don't know if GK could get a good or better player. Like, no offense, but who could GK get right now? Like, no offense, but they'd be taking a risk. Like, I don't really think you drop Noct or Keon or dropped, because I think they're all at like that level. Oh my god, Cole is back. I don't think there will be many roster changes in NA. It always starts with one, right? If there's one big one, Lauder, then there's a lot of big ones, but we'll see what ends up happening. If there isn't one at the top, then there won't be many at the bottom. Madness is LFT? Bro, you're just being a dickhead. Thoughts on CRT changes? That's a good point. CRT could get really fucked over, because if there's not a lot of changes, then they could be in a tough spot. No, everyone that's in my chat that you've seen OP Heimer already has their ENC roster. Every single one of those people have an ENC roster already. They were trying Zuni, and it was interesting. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens with all that. The issue with GK, chat, is I just don't know who they get. Like, who do you drop? Like, I don't think GK can get Y Jelly. And, like, even then, it's like, you'd have to be 100% confident you want Y Jelly over your players, etc., right? Like, bro, a lot of it might be right, bro. Like, there might not be many roster changes at all. It might just be a big salty run back for the entire NA server. And no offense, Wait, if it's a big salty run back for NA, that's gonna fucking break some friendships for sure. Because some of these teams will be like, dude, we gotta run it back. Like, it is what it is. We're running it back. We're gonna do way better. And then they show up to Vegas and they get fucking choke slammed. And then like motherfuckers are gonna get their feelings hurt. Oh my god. I think Europe losing spots isn't unfair. Call me an assport, or an assport. Call me an asshole. Call me like ruining the esport, whatever. It's less international, whatever you want to say. You. No offense, but like, that is a crazy stat. Not one EU team that made the finals even hit match point. Not one EU team even hit match point. And then of all the teams that they had, they were the least represented region in the grand final. Like, no offense, but you just can't be that shit and want more slots. Because no offense, that doesn't really sound like, that doesn't really give the vibe of like, we're so good, we deserve these slots. It more gives the vibe of like, we deserve these slots because it's unfair and hopefully we get lucky and we get some fucking cash. Because like, how do you ever justify that? Like, how do you ever justify it? Like being like top 8 in your region, but then fucking 7 of your 8 teams or 5 of your 8 teams don't even make the finals. And then you're like, we need more slots. Like, what do you mean? 5 of your 8 didn't even make it to finals. But that's just my opinion. It sucks too, because I really like all the EU players. I like a lot of the EU players and a lot of the EU talent. I think they're really cool people. And some of them are mechanically Jesus. Like actually. Nate, Prime Chaotic, right? Like there's a lot of really good controllers in EU. But it's like, being good at the game does not matter. You have to learn how to play the game. Yeah, Zane. I wish ROC made it. Bro, I did 2 interviews talking about it, and I have no issue talking about it. It was funny because of the timing and where we boot camped. We actually had the ROC, one of the ROC managers next to us at the Vitality boot camp. Of every horror story I've heard about esports and orgs and scamming and you name it, bro, like one of the worst things that has like happened, or the worst thing that's ever happened to me in esports. Keep in mind, I've been doing this for fucking 6 years. I've been signed the entire 6 years. I have never been unsigned. The worst thing that's ever happened to me in esports is attempting to work with ROC. I've never experienced anything as bad as trying to work with ROC. I mean, I cannot stress it enough. And if anyone at ROC has no idea what I'm talking about, and you'd hear this and you're like, wait, what? Why is that guy saying that? Feel free to reach out to me and we can talk about it. But my God, bro. Dude, I've never... Bro, even when I tell my friends that story, like sometimes they don't believe me until I show them like the DMs and all the proof and everything. And then they're just like, what the fuck? Like, is that even real life? Like, dude, like I want to love ROC because I know that they were a really reliable financial org. Like they always paid their players on time is what I heard and stuff like that. And that's always great rep, but the run-in that I had with ROC was just so sour. Like, I really just cannot stand those guys for what happened. I'll never ever support that org because of it too. It was just so bad. Bro, the issue with NA is we have like a surplus of like mechanical talent now. We have like too much mechanical talent. So like you could say like Sacred goes to GK, Panic goes to GK, fucking Karev, Cole, fucking Blinkser, fucking Carter, Lauder, Zap, Zainu, Koi, fucking God knows how many. We have so many mechanical fucking good players in our region and not enough IGLs at the moment that it's like impossible to play the game of where does Fragger end up. Because Sacred could be as good as Sacred is, and that doesn't mean he goes any higher in the food chain. Because there are people that are at Sacred's level already in those jobs that are either doing better or doing equal to, right? And like, even if you disagreed with that and you were like, oh, well, Sacred is better than this fragger or that fragger, then it's like, by how much? Like, is Sacred better than Carter, and how much better than Carter is he? Well, I don't think at the moment Sacred is better than Carter, right? So then it's like, well, that conversation happens. So is Sacred better than Panic right now, and how much better than Panic is he? Like, is it worth a buyout and all the other stuff that comes with it, right? And it's like, it's just a crazy conversation. Like, being a really good fragger is valuable, don't get me wrong, but you have to wait your fucking turn. Like, there are so few good IGLs and so many amazing fraggers. Skittle, anyone on 100 Thieves, because they all have rep. Slayer, Gent, right? Like, the issue is when you start to go down this list, there are so many fraggers and so many mechanically good players, or like players that do a lot of damage in fights that are very valuable, and there's just not enough slots in the league, and there's not enough like slots to go around, bro. Like, you could say, yeah, like, dude, Cole, you guys, Karev was saying this was your best chance you're ever gonna have, and you didn't perform how you wanted to. Is Cole gonna change teams? And it's like, dude, Cole is definitely one of the best right now, don't get me wrong, but where does he go? Like, that's the biggest issue. Where does he fit in? It's not about like, you know what I mean? It's so fucking hard. And you could say the same for floating. You could say the same for fucking anyone on SR. Anyone I just listed. You could say the exact same thing. But where do they fit in? It's like, it's just like fucking impossible. Like, I could see a roster happening with like Phony, Sacred, and Jen Burton. But I don't know if that would do great. It's a lot of mechanical skill and a lot of damage output, but I don't know if it would do great. Yeah, people just say rosters should change with no idea of where they land. Yeah, exactly.